All right. Hello, everybody. Malleus, the wife. Give me a second. I'm checking my audio levels to make sure that they're appropriate. I'm doing things a little bit differently. The concept of this stream alone is tempting me into getting the new Black Templars Combat Patrol when I go in for some games Thursday night. Do it. I encourage bad decisions. I've been encouraged just today to make a bad decision. So, yeah. One of many. I know, I'm disgusting. Alright. So, it's been a long time coming, but I figured I need to finish my Bladeguard veterans. Sup, Rushtiff? Melinda's out here spending money like he's got a drug problem. I wish I could do that. This man's over here buying Bane blades just on a whim. Ugh. And is probably cheaper at this point. Can you snort plastic? That may be something I would look into. Maybe he does have a problem. I don't call it a problem because I encourage it. Don't mind me, I'm just trying to listen to the music, making sure. It's frowned upon. You're frowned upon. Okay. I think the music is at an acceptable level tonight. So instead of going through YouTube, I'm just using my Spotify. Couch calling your name. Well, let me make the purchase first, and then we'll discuss couch punishments. Perks of living home and earning a good wage. 10 to 20% goes to living, 80% savings, and whatever money I save throughout the month goes to boats, plastic, and clothes. I don't have that luxury. I make Warhammer purchases probably once a month, maybe. But full disclosure, I was thinking about purchasing Vashdor. Not for the meta, because I know he's terrible in the meta, but for the lore. During the Alperan War, I wanted a little bit more motivation for the Fervent Storm and what they're doing and going forward and creating demon worlds. Because, I mean, they're not just creating demon worlds, they're trying to get the attention of the Inquisition. And one of the easiest means to do that was to ask Vashdor if he could help out a little bit. And Vashdor is willing to help in exchange for demon worlds so he can have infinite fodder for his demon agents. Just an idea I had today. So now I want to get Vashdor. So I was thinking that initially, this brass. Kind of a weirdo since I feel like he's better for Dark Mech than CSM. Absolutely sick set piece. Yeah, he is. I'm I'm playing it like Yanaros, the Chaos Lord for the Fervent Storm, is hesitant because he doesn't really want to ally himself too heavily with warp entities. Outside of necessity, of course. I mean, there's possessed in their ranks, but I was gonna play it like my Warpsmith, Ryvas, the Master of the Thunder Forge, convinces him a little bit to go in and ask Vashtor to help them lure out the Inquisition. Because that's ultimately what they want. They hate the Inquisition, because the Inquisition screwed them over from the get-go, back when they were loyalists. And they need some assistance in doing that. And since I'm not a player, but a war guy, and Vashtor is awesome, just aesthetically, it's kind of where my head's at. Because I want to get Great Unclean One too. Do some Nurgle stuff. And put that in the list. So I'm going to attempt to make that work. So my next big purchase, in summary, is probably going to be Vashtor. Small purchases, I need more points for my newly dubbed Angels of Sorrow. Because I've discovered that the Sons of Sorrow is already a thing. Even though I've been working on their homebrew for well over a year. So that's where that's at. But I need to get some more points of them, so whenever we do break the 200 mark, Raincloud and I will have an equal-ish army. Because right now I have about 1,500 points in my Fervent Storm. No Baneblade? I don't have a Baneblade. You have a Baneblade. What are you talking about? I wouldn't mind a Baneblade. Are you offering me a Baneblade? Probably not offering me a Baneblade. But if you were to offer me a Baneblade, I wouldn't say no. Need to ask Rushtiv, do the Escallions use Baneblades? Or are they just strictly Rogadorn kind of guys? I guess guys and gals, the guard includes both. Not in the model range, though, which is interesting. about anybody else? Anybody else working on anything this evening? Fortunately, no. Charity Bane. Mint is a big purchase instead of Ashcore, although you could look forward to your Patreon income increasing relatively soon. Oh, is that so? Does that mean you're going to sell the Bane Blade and give me the money for it? I wouldn't give away Bane. Do you have Guard, Malinus? I don't think we've actually discussed which armies you have. I mean, besides your CSM. Just realized that you're already at 160. Hyped for that game. Yeah, I'm stoked. Hi, Gigan. Painting some board game pieces for the Great Wall while I'm listening. Nice. If you'd like to share, you can certainly go over to the Discord and pop those in there. If not, that's okay too. I like to see what people are working on. Yeah, I saw 162 today. Yeah. It's coming up. I'm just hoping it doesn't hit between September and beginning of November, because that would be very unfortunate, because I will not be available. Unless I reserve one day out of the week, but I'm already going to be reserving that day for streams. Destroyans also have Freebooters, Black Templars, and Synod. Used to have Death Guard, Necrons, and Nids. They got sold since I got them from launch boxes. Ah. Still got a pretty hefty force there. How did you do your Destroyans? Anything special? Or did you just do the Destroyan scheme? Yeah. I don't know if you heard my question, Rushtiv. I was asking you, do your Ascalians use Baneblades at all? Or are they primarily Rogaldorn outfitted? And if so, what is the reason? Are they close to a Forge world that happens to make Rogaldorns? The lore. Combination of like Gunga kit from War Games Atlantic, some 40k guard vehicles, some solar aux vehicles, and some extra 3D bits and vehicles. So it's a fully converted army. I appreciate that. If I had the capacity for such things, I would definitely do that too. Also, if anybody notices my voice going out in the middle of the stream, I just got home from work about 45 minutes ago. So I am still recovered. I say Rogaldorns primarily as they are similar size and power to the bulldozers, excavators, be used in both mining, but as well as in building infrastructure. Fair. I like how that's integrated into their homeworld. Something they would use. However, Bane Blades ain't totally out of the picture. See them using one as a special unit while it can't sustain it. I feel that. So, I don't know if you were part of the conversation, but I am considering getting Vastor as my next big-ish purpose. He's not huge. It's only like $90. I can also make the argument for Lehman Russes. I just don't like the look of Russes as much, but they've grown on me, so maybe in the future. I didn't like the look of Lehman Russes either until I played Darktide. And then standing next to one in Darktide, you're like, oh, these are kind of cool. And then you see them in Space Marine 2, and you're like, oh, they move quick. But yeah, I'm thinking about getting Vastor because I've been writing a bit of lore for the Alperin War, just the war that my Angels of Sorrow, no longer Sons of Sorrow, sadly, are taking part in against the Fervent Storm. The Fervent Storm is going to be allying themselves with Vastor to lure out the Inquisition, because they hate the Inquisition, because the Inquisition screwed them over. And in exchange, Vastor wants them to seed demon worlds. I already had that they were converting the worlds that they were invading into demon worlds, but I didn't have a hugely justifiable reason, since they don't actively associate with demons. Or gods, for that matter. But I wanted some demons to run with them, and now I have a feasible reason. Because Vastor wants he wants demons on tap. So he wants demon worlds that he can use to power his demon engines. And I really want Vastor, just because he looks awesome. So he's going to be supplying the Fervent Storm. He's going to assist them in luring in the Inquisition. And in exchange, they'll be making demon worlds. How did you find out that Sons of Sorrow were already a Legion? Saw the message and never got the story behind it. So, it was a random look on the wiki. Because I wanted to double check because I hadn't looked in a while. And I thought for sure, for 100% fact, that it was not already an existing faction. Because I swore that whenever I made them, I looked it up. But I looked it up again, and lo and behold, they're a Death Guard warband. The Sons of Sorrow, which kind of makes sense. I was very upset, because I'd gotten so acclimated to calling them the Sons of Sorrow. So I went back to the drawing board and had to workshop a bunch of stuff, and I had to go into all of my docs and find any references to the Sons of Sorrow and change them to the Angels of Sorrow. I was not entirely thrilled at that fact. But they're still exactly who they were, they just had to go through a slight name change. Dinner acquired. Once I'm fed, I'm going to work on building a horse heredity praetor as a Black Templar marshal, converting a Black Templar Castellan, and doing some more obliterator trim. Sounds like you've got some busy time ahead of you. Which praetor is it? Is it the praetor with the power axe or the power sword? Yeah, it does happen. I guess. I wasn't prepared. So now I have to get used to calling them the Angels of Sorrow. Power sword. Hey, that's the one I have. I converted him into my firstborn captain from my Terminus Knights. And I made a lore reason why he is still firstborn, because he's been fighting orcs for so long he hasn't had time to go through the Rubicon. So he's still firstborn. Axe is going to be a Chaos Lord or Master of Executions. Axe is just fit. Master of Executions. That's what I did with my Putrid Maw Master of Executions. Was I took the Plague Marine two-handed axe and I made it one-handed and I chopped the handle down. So now it looks like a giant cleaver. And it's awesome. Doing a slightly different scheme on this one than I did on my first one. Slightly. Very slightly. I'm going to be doing different golds. I'm not going to be doing as deep and dirty golds. They're going to be a little brighter. Now we're going to go in with our wash of straight Agrax. I also realized when I base coded this guy earlier, it's very Grey Knights. And then I got mad at him. Goodness Ghost investment. Are you asking me? Or are you asking them? Because I have my theories. They're not opinions, they're theories. Yes, Matt Rifus and the comedian. love the Conjuring movies. See, I've never been a horror movie guy, but I really like watching Ghost Hunters. Usually because 9 times out of 10 it's fake. It's easy to make fun of. Just got super bad news for my wallet. Uh-oh. What'd you buy? Did you not wait on the Black Templars box? You were just like, screw it, I'm ordering it now. But yeah, if Matt Rife survives this, it's going to be a miracle. Friend from my home country said a local shop is selling Saturnine for a converted amount of 150. He's offering to buy it, hold on to it till I get back there next year. What? Wow. Malodus is out here balling with his engineering money. 2 to 3 years away from that. I don't have engineering money. Very far from it. I have blue collar money. It's not even really blue collar, but it's close enough. Get some poolage. Just gotta make sure this is thin. Maybe on Discord since I get archived the chats. Fair. Student income. So many expensive hobbies. I'm not on a student income. Slightly above a student income, but I also have a family I have to support with said income. So my purchases are a little more limited than I would prefer. Bad. Sure. use a smaller brush. Might have missed it as I'm new here, but what chapter are you painting? I am painting a homebrew chapter. So I do a lot of homebrew, as anyone who's been here for a while will know. It's kind of my main focus of the hobby is writing homebrew and then painting homebrew. So this is a Lamenter's successor. So vicariously they are blood angels. And this is one of the veterans from the first company. But they are called, officially now, after recent events, the Angels of Sorrow. I've always, ever since I discovered the Lamenters, I've always kind of been attached to them. But I don't want to paint them. And since I'm such a passionate homebrewer, I just make my own. I'm like, hey, that's cool. I swear, besides rent and my car hobbies, my biggest expense, I ain't even spend that much on food in comparison. We spend a lot on food. But this is my primary hobby. Next would probably be music, but I don't really spend a whole lot of money on that anymore, considering I don't really do a whole lot with it. They are a very cool chapter. I don't know if it's the fact that I'm kind of just here for the underdogs. They are certainly the underdogs. I just find them super compelling. And this chapter was kind of, in their lore that I've written, they were kind of derived from them. Post Bad Ab War. So while they were out on their penitent crusade, one of their lieutenants, I guess he wasn't a lieutenant, they didn't have lieutenants yet because they were still firstborn. One of their officers, I'd have to go back in my doc and look exactly what rank he was. But he was gravely injured and left behind by the rest of his chapter. And he was discovered by some salamanders, and he requested that he be executed rather than returning to his brothers or going to the Death Watch knowing that he was a failure. But instead, he was granted the rank of chapter master for his own chapter, dubbed the Angels of Sorrow. If you've got any homebrews or anything that you would like to share, or any pictures of anything, you can do that in the Discord. We've developed quite the community over there. If that's something you're interested in. Also, if you want to do some collaborative homebrew, champagne board game pieces. This board game is called The Great Wall. I have heard of that. If you want to do some collaborative homebrew, if you were to potentially join my Patreon, you get access to some exclusive Discord channels where we discuss collaborative homebrews, where we get together, work on some joint campaigns and things like that. You would also have full access to my homebrew documents, as well as my work in progresses. If I were to ever do any models off stream, which happens quite often, I usually put pictures in there. Yeah, we'd love to have you. We had a very intense discussion the other day about the Grey Knights update. That was exciting. It's fun talking to others who paint. I'm a big fan of the lore as well. Well, you'll fit right in then. We have hobby channels, we have lore channels, general chat channels. It's a fun place. Oh, by the way, Breshdiv, how are your Marines coming? Just out of curiosity. You hadn't mentioned them in a while, so I was wondering. I've been doing a ton of Warhammer stuff. I had to dish out over $700 to get my car fixed. Also closing in on less than 12 days till I moved back to my apartment. Been occupied at that. Decided to see my girl and my cat. Fair enough. Honestly, I haven't been doing a whole lot of Warhammer the last couple days either. Just because stuff and ADHD. Distractions. Other fandoms. I'm actually working on making another TTRPG universe. Probably going to end up using D&D rules, 5e. But it's a sci-fi setting. And I'm having a really hard time not just making it Warhammer. But I haven't gotten any guinea pigs for it yet. Mostly because I haven't organized anything. but I've been playing a little bit of Mass Effect for some inspiration. Things of that nature. Yeah, ADHD, that too. Doing a lot of ARMA and reading Civil War history books. I'm all over the place. I feel that. But eventually I get to a place where, just because it's how my brain works, I'm like, Warhammer's so much better. And then I go back to working on Warhammer. Using this wash is more of a glaze than anything. I am trying to get it to pull in the recesses, but it's very, very thin layers. I also have D&D this Friday, so I need to be focusing on that. But I guarantee my brain's gonna tell me no. It's gonna be like, do Warhammer. I'll be like, okay. Stop yelling at me. Okay. I think I did it. See a couple spots where it needs to be moved around. Okay. I think I covered all the areas. Let it all dry for a second before we go to the dry brush. Very light dry brush. I wonder, I haven't attempted it. Do I go in with the brighter sterling silver for a dry brush, like I've been doing? Or do I do the same color as the base coat? The Vallejo Natural Steel. Because I've never done it that way. I've always gone for the brighter silver. I may just stick with it. Do what I'm comfortable with. Exciting. What's this? Oh, I have a whole nother new bottle. And it is 1,000 chaos. It's fine. Cheap acrylics. Nobody hate me, but they're there. And this was $2.29. For small things like dry brushing, works great. I wouldn't do it for base coats or anything. Welcome to the Discord, Guggen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Alright. Let's do this dry brushing business. I think what I did, because it was a while ago when I painted this guy, I think I dry brushed the silver on the armor, and I dry brushed the natural steel on the shield. So I may just stick with that. This is barely a silver, it's like a metallic white. It's so bright. Doesn't take a lot. But it brightens things up very, very nicely. It adds a healthy bit of definition to everything. I don't know how well it shows up on camera. Very, very striking. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay. Do I do the shield now, or do I save it for last? Save it for last, because I'm gonna go ahead and paint all stuff that I want to stay steel colored. That I'm just gonna go over with normal oil. I'm tired of this brush. Dip it in alcohol for a day or two. It's a great base coating brush. It gets in all the nook and crannies. See if I've got another one that can fill that void. Sure I do. It's not obscenely overused. That one. A lot of these I just need to throw away. Oof. Don't keep using it. It still holds paint. Actually, I should base coat his tabard. Thanks for letting me paint along. Gotta run for now, but we'll see you in the Discord. See you again. Thanks for joining. Welcome to the community. Glad to have you here. These tabards usually take a couple coats. Because it doesn't go on very thick. I don't know why it doesn't go up very thick. I don't know if it's just the paint being so thin, because usually like reds go on pretty well. Also, for anyone curious, not that anyone is, but I listened to one of the Last Chancers books today on YouTube, which is probably highly illegal. Reading published documents, but whatever. But it was pretty good. Kind of gave some insights into the penal legions, which is what I was going in for anyway. One thing I did notice, as opposed to the lore that I have been learning about, oh, those are sick, Nautis. Yeah, those are awesome. I do have a question. How do you get away with using Firstborn? Should be required rating for Rank Cloud. It should be. I sent it to him, but I haven't heard from him all day. But one thing I noticed is that they were very trusted, I guess, because they had a lot of war gear, which, from what I've been told, isn't a thing that penal legions usually get a lot of. But it seemed like every man in the platoon had a las rifle or a las gun of some sort. Now that may have been all they had, but I thought it was kind of weird. And it was by Gav Thorpe, if that tells you anything. And I don't remember what year it came out. Rubicon Primaris, what the hell says they're still wearing Ceramite Bay? Fair. I'm cool with that. Was it the Black Templars who were the ones who killed all the Primaris that they were being reinforced with? Honestly, don't remember. It was the Black Templars. Dang, it's on brand. To be honest, if GW is willing to remove the distinction of Primaris and Firstborn, I'm happy to oblige. I wish they really wish they would. Because I would love to use 30k models in a Loyalist Space Marine Army without having to justify it somehow. Because, I don't know, I could be wrong, but it sounds like 11th edition, they're doing away with Firstborn entirely. And I'm the kind of person who has to have it look the way that it is in normal. And that's gonna bug me to no end. But for some reason, they thought we needed Primaris. Which, Primaris are okay. And I get why they did it. And they've justified it by this point. But to make it one of the only options moving forward, it's a little upsetting. Been softening new Terminators, new Scouts. Issue is a lot of 30k have loadouts not in 40k, which the entire Horse Heresy was in Legends, but alas, even the Legends status sheets don't have Horse Heresy options. Unless you use Battlescribe, which is what I use for all my lists. Because my Contemptor Dread has all of the weapon options from Legends. So, that makes me happy. Just good. Just do the beat. I haven't painted any better than this for a while. I forgot how simple the scheme is compared to the yellow. And Legends only has the ones that were in the old resin kit. I think the melted gun inside the fist I have is illegal, same as the front mounted las guns on my Spartan. I don't know for sure because I didn't put the Melta in the fist. Because I couldn't magnetize the weapons in the fist. So those had to be permanent. So one of them is a plasma gun, and the other one is a bolter, I believe. Pretty sure that's what I did. Hey, Mr. Eggplant. How are you this evening? I'm just over here painting a stern guard veteran. Figure out what that is. Artifact in here. What brings you by this evening? Space code for this yellow that I have to do. Painting the models was always my favorite. Doing great. Just getting home from work. Nice. I do enjoy the painting side. Do you paint currently? And if so, who do you paint? Heard there was some great painting, so I had to check it out for myself. Well, I wouldn't go that far. I am a very mid-tier painter. Painting and the homebrew aspect are the parts of the hobby that I love the most. Being able to write your own lore within the lore. So those are my two main focuses. And the painting just kind of comes along with it. I've only been at it for about 2 years now. Year and a half. Not anymore. Haven't for several years at least. My army of choice for salamanders. Very nice. The old fire boys. Several years. So what was the last edition you played? I myself don't actually play the tabletop. One of my only official tabletop experiences was playing Kill Team when we reached 100 subscribers. That wasn't that long ago, now that I think about it. But at 200 subs, the goal is to play at least 1,000 points of 10th edition. And that will be streamed here on the channel. Also, for the record, push fit models can suck it. Because this thing is awful. Great model, but the fact that it was out of the Leviathan box, because I bought it used. Originally played Ultramarines when I first started, 5th edition. 7th edition and 8th edition. It was just for a cup of coffee. Okay, so 8th edition, about the time Gilliman came back. It's a sub for a 10k point apocalypse game. Let's make it 10k. Let's see. All right, I gotta think about this. I gotta be logistical. I have 1,500 of CSM right now, and I'm at 2 years in. Not quite 2 years. Let's make it 10,000 and we'll play 10k. Maybe I'll have enough by then. We're gonna be on like 13th edition by then. Exactly right. My favorite characters are Adrex, Agatone, and Vulcan. Vulcan's a Chad. Just gonna put that out there. And I did see an article a couple days ago where people are petitioning for him to be the next Primarch to come back. But we all know that it's going to be Lehman. By 2028, I think it's doable. I like those odds. Ah, excellent question, Melodus. Primarch Vulcan or Vulcan Histan? Honestly, don't think we're in a place in the lore where we really need Vulcan to come back, because then the salamanders are gonna kind of be like, well, what do we do now? Because their goal is to find him. Vulcanistan. He did just get a new model reveal. And it's beautiful. I mean, I played Salamanders. But alas, I don't. Now, if we ever got a Bravo model, 3 years for 8,500 more points, as well as 9,800-ish subs, it's doable. Yeah, we can make that a goal. I like those odds. Most recent painted model was the new Adrax model. Bought it after I quit, but the painting was fun. Painting is always fun. I will never say no if I'm told that I get to go paint. In retrospect, I should have base coded this right, but gone over it very fast. But I'll do that on the third one. 12-hour apocalypse stream. I would not survive. I feel like if I were to do that, it would be more fun to have like a couple people come over and we do multiple armies. Screw that Perturabo Schlub. About literally everybody's favorite Primarch, Lorgar. Lorgar! Word Bears fan alert. I need a button for that. Anytime anyone mentions anything Word Bears related, just throw up an alarm. It sucks no one plays Apocalypse anymore. Easily, my favorite games have been 5,000 points plus. I don't know if I have the attention span for that. Didn't Wargamer Dave do that recently? Maybe not recently, but I swear I've seen a video that he did like within the last 6 months of an Apocalypse game. I was listening to, what's it called? The Siege Studios podcast. I forget what it's called now. Paint Perspective. That's it. I was listening to that, and Luton was on it. And he was talking about how sometimes he'll listen to music while he paints, and then sometimes he'll listen to battle reports because he knows what's going on. I have no idea what's going on even when I'm watching battle reports. No more Word Bear slander or I post the Sardula green text again. Please don't. Nobody wants that. All I want is my purdy boy. That's all I want. I brought that up to the manager at the GW shop I go to every once in a while about how I want Peter Turbo. And he just looked at me and he was like, that's not going to happen. I was like, I know. That's why I'm getting Vashtor. It's not a pretty base coat, but it'll work. Just have to do like 5 or 6 coats of yellow over it. Not that one. Any more gaming started doing 4th edition battle reports, and they're so good. I wouldn't know. I have a hard time with battle reports, but that's also because I don't play the game. I like watching them sometimes if it's just for the showcase part, because I like seeing everybody's armies. Like, I'd love to go to a tournament just to look at people's armies. I wouldn't enter. I'd just go and loom in the background, ominously. Like, if I were to go to Adepticon or something like that, that would be the only reason I would go. Well, that and the boots. I want to go to Adepticon anyway. But I'm not sure I can work that out. The swag bag they gave you. Unsold AOS starter boxes. Yeah. That'd be alright. Even though I don't really like AOS. But I'd take the models. Adepticon is only like 4 or 5 hours away from me. It does happen, I might try to attend. That'd be cool. It'd be really cool if we could all do a meetup. But it's like 9 hours for me. So I don't know how likely that is. I don't know if I could get away from work that long. And I highly doubt I would stay for the whole event. I would just go for like a day or two. Just to say that I saw everything. Apparently no one else does. They gave out hundreds of Scaventide boxes. And those that bought the higher ticket tier. Also, I may go to Adepticon, but have school and a long drive. Are you correcting my grammar? certainly wouldn't be a short drive for me, but I think it'd be cool. Oh, okay. I'm a silly goose. It's only 5 hours and 20 minutes. Arrive Friday, leave Sunday midday. Well, now you're getting me thinking about it. I have to look. I don't know when tickets go on sale. It's not until next spring, so it's fine. $15-hour drive. Ugh. See, I don't know if I could justify that. I will go on till the end of time. Listen, it's either that or I buy the Saturnine kit from a scalper. And only a few of us know what's more financially feasible. Drive 10 hours to the mountains. What's another 5 hours? Well, it's only about 10 hours. Us. I believe. I did look it up when it was happening. I'd have to double check all that. I don't have an LGS with a group going, otherwise I'd do that. I am LGS less right now. Quite the sad predicament. Plus, I kind of want to, meet the big names. Maybe get a picture with some of them. The guys that I watch. because, you know, that'd be kind of neat. Somebody like Jay from Eons of Battle, because he's kind of the one who initially got me started painting. Because he was some of the first tutorials I ever watched. And he's still, you know, leaps and bounds ahead of me. That's a low bar, but still cool to meet. Is that equivalent to meeting our heroes? Or some of the lore guys. They may not be there. Well, Mr. Bones was there last year, I know that. Ah, some spillage. But he was also at LVO. I have no desire to go to LVO. None. Zilch. Nada. I think 2 coats will do it. I guess like 2 coats is actually good. Still a little sloppy, but more than expecting anything less with yellow. hotels are already booked for it. Well, what about campgrounds? Don't doubt that. You probably have to stay like an hour away. Some thin down. Oh no, look alright. Alright. Do I attempt the golds now? Let's hit this sliver. Too earlier. A cold for camping in my mind. Fair. Fair. I don't do cold. Like, at all. Cold is not my environment. Okay. I say I go ahead and do the gold. Or I could go ahead and dry brush that since my silver is drying out. Again, just a light. Heavier than I anticipated, but it's fine. Should have gone a little lighter, I guess, but it's okay. It adds to the aesthetic. We book plane tickets now for decent cheap. Good. My problem is with my work schedule, I have a hard time planning those things more than a month in advance. Because my job kind of controls everything. Now we're gonna do the goals. And you may not even be able to get tickets. They'll probably sell out as soon as they go up. It's really mad. I may just sleep in my car. Some real urban camping. Just get a low temp sleeping bag. There you go. I'm sure you wouldn't be the only one. The hotels are sold out. That's insane. I mean, expected, but insane. I feel like it's the kind of place you have to know somebody. So you could feasibly get in. Have my car, so I could get a room like 30 or 40 minutes away. Still be good to go. Just have to find parking somewhere. That'll be one of the main issues. Finding a place to park. You may have to walk a mile just to get in the building. You're not focusing. Focus. And almost in sight for Chaos Trim, but I'm unsure if I've resolved finish tonight. I'm kind of thinking the same thing. I'm gonna get these gold bits at least. Get the Indominus badge and that Indominus badge and the skull. Oh, and the Aquila. Gotta do the Aquila. And then I'll probably just come in and finish it during the week. I wouldn't mind getting this squad done, though, so I can stop looking at them, because they've all had a black base coat for actual months. And I'm just now getting to them. Because I couldn't decide what to paint, and I just felt like they really needed to be painted. So I painted them. Started to. I had the sergeant painted. I was actually writing some lore for these guys this morning too. Some dialogue, some very depressing dialogue. It's actually probably going to end up being kind of a short story. Because, like, one of them is going to be interacting with a guardsman from the Outbrand 104th. Just trying to encourage him a little bit. But then at the end of the story, he's going to come back to the camp where the guardsman was. And the whole place is going to be decimated. And he's just going to find a charred pile of bones. That was kind of the story I was brainstorming this morning. Make it proper grimdark, proper depressing. Definitely going to try to go this year. My last chance before I move away. If not, I'll have to go to something like Nova. Now I feel like I have to go. I'll figure it out. I low-key doubt that I'll be able to go. But I can dream. Realistic chances are bad for me. So half the fun of vacation is planning it without even follow through. My thing is, I don't like planning. Don't feel obligated. I'm much closer, so it's more feasible. It's not a huge deal either because maybe in a couple of years, once I have engineer money, and to go to Adepticon, I would totally be down for that. My downfall, though, is I despise planning. Period. I hate any and all forms of planning. It's the bane of my existence. It's gonna look good once it gets aggro. Question is, do I go ahead and do the aggro stuff now? Do I wait until everything is paid? I should probably wait. I gotta do all these browns and stuff too. I don't know if I have the energy for that. I've really only been going for 2 hours. I can handle the planning, you just have to get there and pay your share, essentially. Yeah, damn the full thing. Get a hotel within walking distance. Also, hopefully by that time, have an army to play with. I still don't expect to be playing the game by then, but maybe. That's why I got married. I had to have somebody plan things for me because I didn't want to do it. Okay, those obliterators are sick, Malladus. I guess I'll go ahead and do the brown. Just have to be very, very particular. So my stupid brain decided it would be a good idea to paint everything else. Instead of painting it first. Ooh, let me do that. I also probably wouldn't be able to play even if I did want to because I'm not using the right paints. Unless that's something they're willing to overlook. I don't know how all that works. I think it's not regulated as long as it's battle ready standard. You'll get 10 victory points. So if I have a fully painted army, I'll automatically get 10 VP. That's kind of a bonus. Except for the fact that I highly doubt I would have a fully painted army by then. Especially at the pace I'm going. Once wintertime hits, I know I'll be able to knock out models a lot faster. Painted and based. Okay. I usually base all my models anymore anyway. I didn't used to in the very beginning. They look so much cooler when you base them. A lot of comp players hate it, but love it as an incentive. I like incentive. I work well under pressure. That's also something Luton was talking about on that podcast episode, where it's a lot easier to get things done if you give yourself a deadline. Like for my possessed, I told myself I wasn't going to move on to any other unit until I got that squad done. So that gave me a reason to get it done. And I'm really happy with how they look. But by the end, I was happy to move on to something else. Okay. The Nolan Oil I'm gonna have to clean. With the Agrax I'm not. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the Agrax on all the golds. And then after that, probably gonna call it a night. Because then all I have left is Purity Seal, Power Sword, the Eyes, Freehanding, and Buckle. And then I gotta paint the base. I don't think I missed anything after that. So Purity Seal, Power Sword, Eyes, Freehanding, and the base. And that'll be it. I didn't have a 2K army until I got COVID from a New Year's party in 2021. Didn't have a job, school, or internship. Couldn't go anywhere. So I painted a unit of Warhammer a day for like 16 days. Oh, I would kill for that. But I also have so many other things that I want to do. Because of the ADHD. The fact that I'm kind of a fantasy head too. So I do a lot of fantasy stuff. Not Warhammer fantasy, but fantasy. I have my own original fantasy world that I've been working on for 13 years. 13 or 14. So that occupies the rest of my time when I'm not doing Warhammer. Which these days is hardly ever. Because Warhammer has consumed my life. I don't know if you do writing, but have you ever found you're not wanting to use homebrew RPG settings for your stories? Give me my world for players to interact with, but I never want to set my own stories in it. Oh, I always do. I have a hard time not homebrewing. So any of our RPGs that we've played have been set in my world. With no questions asked. I've never run anything in any other world. Just because I've been building this world for so long that it's pretty much it's pretty much a sandbox, so they can do whatever they want. Because about any and every situation in any location in the world, I'm ready for. Well, I'm not ready for it, but the world is ready for, and I am capable of portraying the world as the world would interpret things. In the fantasy book series I've been working on, all my players are surprised it's not in one of my RPG settings. I feel that. I'm assuming it's just because you don't want your players to mess anything up in the canon that you have established. I understand that. But we play so freely, and I trust most of my players to not break the world. Yeah, it's a pretty fine line between what you have established and what you want, and how you want it to be, between other people coming in and absolutely wrecking it, which has a tendency to happen in not just TTRPGs, but in worlds that TTRPGs are set in. Like 100% of the time, something is going to go awry that breaks everything in your lore, and then you have to figure out how to address it. And that's one of the reasons, well, that's not one of the reasons, but I'm terrified to attempt to run anything in the Warhammer universe because I'm afraid that I would get something wrong in the lore. I'm relatively well versed in the lore. Like, I have a passing knowledge, but I don't feel like I have enough to be able to run a game in it. I do really want to play the Death Watch RPG, though. I feel like that would be fun. Absolutely not. It's for a different purpose. Like, the story should have very specific themes and ideas, and the world building there is confined to help present those. An RPG setting is not that. Agreed. An RPG setting is its own storytelling tool. And it can absolutely be different from anything else that you can come up with. Because there's a difference between letting your players craft the story and crafting the story yourself. Okay. I think that's it. I'm gonna thin down some null oil and do these straight silver bits. The eyes, purity seal, power sword, and the base. And the freehanding. And then he'll be done. Number 2. But I'm not going to get it done tonight. So I think that's going to be the end of our stream for this evening. A little bit shorter tonight, but I did get off work at 6 o'clock. Or I got home from work at 6 o'clock. And so I am quite ready. So thank you to everyone who showed up. Relatively small numbers tonight, but I didn't really have high expectations. That's okay. If there is anybody here, feel free to join our Discord. Talk hobby, we talk lore, talk a myriad of other things. And follow me on Instagram. That's an option. And I think that'll be it. So I will see everybody later. And we'll talk in the Discord. Night, everybody.